The movie opens with Casey, an American martial arts instructor who teaches students at the Koga Dojo in Japan. He decides to buy a necklace for his pregnant wife, Namiko. After he found the amulet necklace he wanted, he noticed that two men were keeping a close eye on him. They continued to follow him outside the store, but Casey ducked out of sight. When he jumped out, he caught their attention. Casey offered them his wallet, but the men insisted on taking the necklace, which he refused to give up. They attacked him, and he defended himself using only a piece of cloth. A fierce fight ensued, and Casey was able to defeat them. After he had disarmed them, he noticed a curious mark on their knives, but decided to walk away and leave the men to their injuries. After Casey gave the necklace to his wife, she was overjoyed, and the two began to make out. Later that night, Namiko's pregnancy cravings for dark chocolate awakened her, and she woke Casey up. Despite Namiko telling him that he did not have to go, Casey chose to go to the supermarket. Unfortunately, while he was away, a stranger with a barbed wire weapon snuck into the house. When Casey returned, he found his wife dead on the floor with a brutal wound to her neck. Overcome with sadness and anger, he hugged Namiko tightly for the last time and retrieved the amulet he had given her. The necklace symbolized his relentless pursuit of revenge. At Namiko's funeral, Casey's old friend Nakabara paid his respects. Nakabara, who ran a martial arts school in Thailand, offered Casey a place to stay and trained to help him get through this difficult time. However, Casey declined, saying he had some unfinished business to attend to. The scene then shifted to Myanmar, where a drug lord named Goro-san confronted one of his men for a shortage in a shipment he was transporting. Goro-san brutally killed the man with a barbed wire weapon, the same type of weapon that had killed Namiko. Meanwhile, Casey had figured out that the men who killed his wife were linked to the thugs he had fought earlier. He deduced that the thugs had used a triple kick move, so he went to the Ama dojo, where that move was taught. The dojo members circled him and said that the attackers were not members of the dojo, so Casey took on all of them in a fight. After he beat them down, a member spoke up and told him where the thugs were. Casey went to their hangout and sent the amulet to their table to entice them to follow him to a desolate alley where he had set up a trap. He saved his best moves for them, stabbing one man and chopping off the other's hand before slitting his throat. After some time, Casey went to Nakabara's dojo in Thailand. There, he met Nakabara's top two students, Lucas and Hiroshi. Casey later asked Nakabara why he chose to teach in Thailand instead of Japan. Nakabara shared the story of his father, who was one of 2,500 elite ninjas dispatched to the jungles of Burma during World War II. These ninjas were highly skilled in stealth, speed, and accuracy, posing a major threat to the Allies. However, only 14 of them survived, and Nakabara's father was one of them. He chose to remain in Thailand, and Nakabara was now following in his footsteps. As Casey was speaking with Nakabara, a delivery man arrived with a package. Later, during a sparring session with Lucas, Casey gained the upper hand. In a fit of frustration, Lucas reached for a bachan, a wooden training sword. When Casey also grabbed the bachan, Lucas became infuriated and unleashed a series of unfair strikes against him. Casey completely lost control and mercilessly beat his opponent with the bachan until Nakabara intervened. Afterward, Nakabara asked Casey to undergo firewalking training to gain better control over his emotions. However, Casey found himself unable to complete the training as he was haunted by vivid memories of Namiko. He went to a nearby bar to relax, but things went wrong there as well. A drunk man picked a fight with him, and soon his friends joined in. They threw everything they had at Casey, but he outmatched them all and beat them up one by one. The next day, still exhausted from the previous night's brawl, Casey was about to go pick fruit in the garden. Lucas, seeing that Casey needed a break, told him to rest instead. Casey returned to his room and fell asleep. While he was resting, Lucas was in the garden when a stranger killed him with a barbed wire weapon. When Casey found out about the murder, he told Nakabara that the same weapon had been used to kill both Namiko and Lucas. Nakabara then revealed the identity of Goro, a notorious drug cartel leader. He explained that his father, Casey's father-in-law Teata, and a man named Isamu had been the top 3 students at Koga Dojo. When their sensei died, Isamu challenged Teata for control of the dojo. Teata won the fight, killing Isamu and becoming the new grandmaster. Isamu's younger brother Goro witnessed the event and swore to avenge his brother's death. Nakabara explained that Goro was now a major drug cartel leader in Myanmar and used a barbed wire weapon as his signature. Concerned for Casey's safety, Nakabara urged him to return to the United States, as being Teata's son-in-law made him a target. However, Casey asked for Nakabara's help in locating Goro. In response, Nakabara gave Casey an ancient map of the Burmese jungle from his father's time during World War II, which was marked with the location of hidden ninja weapons. Wasting no time, Casey headed straight to Myanmar, where he met a very friendly taxi driver. Casey's first stop in Myanmar was at a local market, where he did some shopping before heading to an inn. As he exited the car, he asked the taxi driver, Mike, about Goro, but Mike claimed to know nothing. Nevertheless, Casey decided to hire him for a few days. In his room, Casey prepared his weapons, which included various tools and deadly poisons. Later that night, Mike helped Casey locate a bar known to be frequented by drug dealers. While sitting alone, Casey was approached by a man who offered him drugs. Casey followed the man and, pretending to be a customer, took a sample of the substances. He then abruptly asked about Goro, causing the drug seller and his associates to become hostile. However, Casey was prepared for the encounter and used his crafted weapons to defeat them all, but he left the bar empty-handed.
Oh, who are you talking about?
When he returned to his hotel, the drugs he had taken affected him badly. He woke up to find his room being raided by Myanmar army soldiers. Before they could open fire, Casey caught them by surprise and fought them off. As they began shooting, he ran away, leading to a thrilling chase. Overwhelmed by the number of soldiers, he was eventually cornered and captured. In the interrogation room, an army official began burning Casey with a hot iron, accusing him of being a spy and demanding to know why he was after Goro. Casey remained silent, claiming he was just a tourist before pretending to pass out. Just as they were about to throw him in a cell, he regained consciousness and took down the soldiers who were escorting him. Wearing their uniforms, he slipped past the army guys, who were distracted by a cockfight, and made his way to the general's office. He immediately slammed the general's head against his desk, causing it to break. Casey realized the general was one of Goro's men because he had inquired about him earlier. Holding a pair of scissors to the general's throat, Casey demanded to know Goro's location. The general eventually revealed that Goro was in Tago village, but it did not save his life. After killing the general, Casey found Mike taking cash from one of the officers, which proved that Mike had betrayed him. Casey hid in Mike's car before he could leave. Mike was shocked when Casey revealed himself, but despite the betrayal, Casey saw some good in him and let the incident go. They headed off to Tago village together. Upon reaching the jungle, Casey encountered 4 of Goro's armed thugs on patrol. Using his stealth skills, he quickly took down 3 of them. However, the 4th thug proved to be more challenging. He threw a grenade and began shooting at Casey, but Casey, using his crafted weapons, ended the threat and took the thug's gear. Delving deeper into the jungle with Nakabara's map, Casey located the final resting places of the ninjas. He armed himself with an arsenal of ninja weapons hidden beneath a wooden tombstone. Under the light of the full moon, Casey put on his ninja suit and grabbed his weapons. Casey eventually found Goro's covert base. Using his ninja gear, he took out some of the guards and set off several grenades, which turned the entire place into an inferno. He continued to fight off the remaining guards until he confronted Goro's top henchman. A brutal showdown ensued, and Casey, despite feeling overwhelmed, killed him by stabbing him in the heart and snapping his neck. Casey confronted Goro about Namiko's death, but Goro pretended to be unaware of it. This infuriated Casey, who tried to attack Goro. Goro injured Casey with his barbed wire weapon, but Casey fought back, slashing Goro's stomach and gaining the upper hand. Goro did not give up and wrapped his barbed wire around Casey's neck. Casey used his sword to break free and defend himself. After a difficult fight, Casey finally defeated Goro with a finishing move. After defeating Goro, Casey returned to Nakabara's place and was greeted with a smile. As they were talking, the same delivery man showed up again. Casey noticed that the mark on the man's knife was identical to the one on the knives of the thugs who had mugged him. Casey realized that Nakabara had orchestrated everything to push him into killing Goro. Nakabara confessed to using the dojo to run illegal operations. He had seen Goro's drug cartel as a competitor and wanted Casey to take him out so he could take over the market in Southeast Asia. Nakabara gave Casey an ultimatum: join him or face his fate. Casey refused to team up with the men who had killed Namiko, so they began a brutal brawl. Casey delivered a powerful kick that sent Nakabara crashing into a wall, which revealed a secret chamber filled with ancient artifacts. In the chamber, Nakabara grabbed a sword and snuck toward Casey, who used a wooden pole to defend himself. Nakabara broke the pole, but Casey used a triple kick to overpower him. They engaged in a sword fight, and Casey slashed Nakabara's midsection while Nakabara jabbed Casey's left shoulder. Casey removed the sword but found himself in a difficult situation. As Nakabara made a sudden move toward him, Casey spotted the barbed wire that had killed his wife. He dodged Nakabara's attack, grabbed the wire, and wrapped it around Nakabara's neck, killing him and getting his revenge. After Nakabara's death, Casey exposed his true intentions to Hiroshi, who discovered drugs in the package that had been sent to Nakabara. Realizing the potential damage to the dojo's reputation, Hiroshi decided to let the matter go and appreciated Casey's revelation. Casey then returned to Japan and threw Namiko's amulet into the water, signifying that he had finally found peace after getting his revenge. The moral of the story is to be sure you are getting revenge on the right people. So, what did you think of the movie? Leave it in the comments below, and if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you in the next video.